Yeah. Twins pod.
I watched a really interesting study. You should watch it. It was about what makes the perfect nation. Because I was trying to build the perfect country in my mind. Like, what would make the perfect nation? It was talking about if you started from zero, how would you have the richest, most prosperous, perfect country? And it said the countries with the best weather are countries like England and Netherlands, because you want it to be a little bit rainy. You want to be able to have agriculture, and you don't want people to have too much fun for free. Like in Thailand, they ain't got to be rich. They just go to the beach, get coconut. They're living good. In England, you got to have a Ferrari and a mansion. You're still depressed.
Right.
So you work very hard. You pay a lot of taxes. There's a whole bunch of things involved with it. But it said that if you have a complicated societal structure, natural resources makes your country richer. So like Norway is very rich. They have oil and a bunch of natural resources, but they have a complicated social structure. So they dig the oil up, and that money goes to the Norwegian Sovereign Wealth Fund, which goes into the stocks and bonds and the gold ETFs, and it's all tracked online, and they're a very rich country. Africa's super rich, but they don't have complicated systems. So what happens there is if they discover cobalt, the problem with natural resources is it doesn't require society to get the value of it. So if you have a country that builds jet engines, you now need factories, which takes workforce, which need houses, which need universities, which need schools, which need hospitals, which needs roads. So you have to build all this infrastructure around it to produce these jet engines. If you find cobalt, you just got to dig it up out of the ground. So Africa's problem is that it's so rich, they don't have these complicated structures. So what happens is they find cobalt, the dictator gets a deal from outside, usually the West, to get money into his pocket. They send a few soldiers and a few kids to go dig it up. They take all the cobalt out. It goes straight to the West. The dictator gets rich. None of the African people get rich. None of the African nation gets rich. They don't build anything. And the cobalt's gone. West is rich. Dictator goes to Dubai. Boom, done. So Africa's biggest problem is that it's actually so rich in resources that it's held back by how many things it has. If it didn't have any resources, they could build things and put it all together and start building jet engines, but they don't, because they're like, look, we found something interesting here. Dictator gets rich, few of the elites get rich, and the average person gets fucked. So it's kind of unfair. But that's the Africa
stupidity.
story.
I mean, do you think that's? I'm going to sound like a white supremacist when I say this.
I know what you're going to say. Don't even say
Do you think that's genetic?
Well,
but come on, man.
Byron Daniels is after me. Byron Daniels is after me. No, but let's think.
Well, let me take that back. It's not genetic, it's culture.
Yeah. I mean, but culture on a long enough time frame is genetic.
Yeah.
This is the problem.
Yeah.
So like if when white people, you know what I love? If you watch on Twitter, it's actually the best argument. It's so fun. The race realists, the super racists who say like black people are genetically different to white people and you're more violent and and all this shit. They always attack me on Twitter and call me mulatto and all this shit. It's so funny. And I read all their shit. I read all their shit. I read all the race realism stuff. And I'm kind of sitting there going, kind of agree with some of it. Yeah. They're saying black people are more naturally violent. I'm like, you're damn right. Watch out. But that's right, pussy. But culture on a long enough time frame becomes genetics. I mean, let's be honest. Is the average African as smart as the average Westerner? No. I would argue that if you go to the Central African Republic where they don't have schools and they don't have infrastructure and their parents haven't been to school and their grandparents haven't been to school, that probably they're not as smart as somebody who's their entire bloodline's been university educated. Probably that is true. So after a long enough time frame, it becomes genetic. And then you want to take enough of them and dump them over here and expect them to operate within complicated systems they don't fully understand. Right. They're probably just going to say, fuck it, let's rob the store. And then you have, I mean, this is realist. This is realism.
Yeah, because you look at Africa, it's a continent, it's not a country, but if that was a country like the United States with the resources they got, the manpower they have, it would be a superpower.
It should be
the biggest superpower.
It should be a superpower.
But this little United States, majority is white, is running the world.
Well, white people are the best at building complicated systems. That's what the white people do best.
Yeah.
I mean, like my camera guy who's off. There he is. Look at him.
White
right?
guy.
These are the people who, in 1960s in NASA, when they did Apollo 11.
Yeah.
All them motherfuckers, there's like 20,000 of them, little white guys with glasses and pieces of paper and a pen, and they put something on the moon.
Yeah.
You get 10,000 black people in a room, tell them to achieve anything.
Dude, that was so wrong. But factual.
How long till there's a fight? Shaniqua's jumping in. She's trying to hit him. Like we're more family orientated. We're more clan orientated. Right?
Yeah, you know, more tribalistic.
We are. We're tribalistic, which is a pro and a con. Again, these are pros and cons. But if you want to extrapolate it out towards a nation state, the thing the white man is best at is working with people he doesn't know. That's a white man's superpower. A white man will go, hello, I've got a bunch of money. And I want to build boats. I've decided I want to build boats. So I'm going to go and find the best boat builder. John Smith. Hello, boat builder. I don't know you. You don't know me. This is called a contract. And let's do a contract. And you're going to build the boats and I'm going to pay for it. And now we have a successful shipping company. In Africa, it doesn't work that way. They're like, I'm rich. I want boats. Who do I know? My cousin.
Yeah.
My cousin can't build boats. He doesn't know anything about boats, but that's who I know. He's the only guy I trust. He's in my clan. He's my family. So I go to my cousin. You're in charge of the boats. Okay, I will build the boats. And he takes the money, and then no boats get built, and everything's fine. That's why the finance minister is the second cousin of the fucking president, and nobody knows anything, and it's all insidious because you only trust your people. Now, I'm still like that now. I'm black enough like that now. I trust my brother, my people.
Yeah.
So I got that black in me. But I'm also white enough to know I can do a contract and get a boat built. But white people are fantastic at trusting people they don't know. That's why white people are like, howdy neighbor. They don't even know you. Howdy. White people have this weird, no, it's not weird, but the white people mentality is far more attributed towards the benefit of society with a larger understanding of working with those they're not directly correlated with. Whereas the black people is like, these are my people only. And it's very insular. But it becomes far more difficult to run a country that way with competence. If you want to run a country competently, you need to find the most competent man for the job. I don't know if this is true. I don't want to be held up on it, and I don't want to be attacked for it. It might not be true, but I heard something that when the British started selling their ships around, they were amazed that when they got to all these native countries, the Aboriginals in Australia and Africa and India, all these places, no one had heard of a contract. No one had heard of the idea of working with someone who wasn't their family. They're like, it's a contract. They haven't heard of a contract. No one had heard of it. So what, you just find anyone to do it?
Heard of a house. They was living in grass huts.
Well, that's right. So they were like
savages.
Yeah. Well,
have you seen those videos of them eating? Hey, pull up
It's
that,
the
Joe.
year 20.
Joe, pull up those TikTok videos of these African tribes.
Byron, I'm sorry. Listen, I know you got busted for weed. Fucking talk about letting the black man down. For busted for fucking weed.
Check fraud.
Andrew Tate's a human trafficker. You know, fuck this guy. I'm moving to Vegas. Fuck these people. Bring your case. Fuck you.
Yeah, make it bigger, Joe. These people have not evolved at all for like probably 5,000 years. Imagine being a white man back in the slave days. So yeah, we'll take these.
All right, so let's talk about this now.
Yeah.
We're going down race realism, and you know, we're the only people brown enough to get away with this, so we can do it.
Oh, we're not going to get away with this shit.
Well, let's talk about it, right?
Yeah.
So the white man, where he grew up, primarily, they had to plan ahead in a way different than the Africans did. So like if you were in England, you had to grow grain because that's how you eat. But grain only grows a certain part of the year. So you have to think ahead and you have to plan. You have to plow the field. Then you have to grow the grain. Then you got to build buildings to store it in. And that means you need a lot of people. A lot of people need schools, hospitals, roads, housing. Now you need a city. You have to plan everything over a year cycle just to have food. In Africa, they didn't have to do that. Mango. Boom. They just go get a mango when they're hungry. Go kill this. They had so much resource, they didn't have to plan ahead. Wait till you're hungry, kill something, eat it. You didn't have the same infrastructure that was required to eat.
Yeah, it gets cold in Europe.
It gets cold. You got to build a house. You need firewood. You got to think ahead. You apply that across 1,000 years. You have a very different mentality towards life than you do in Africa, which is just pure brutal survivalism. That's what it is.
I've heard that argument because of the weather, white versus the white man and the black man. Both races evolved differently over time because living in a cold, horrible climate, you got to think.
Yep.
And you live in a warm environment, you just get up, take a shit, and make you a bowl of soup like these niggas.
That's right. That's right. And you're good.
Yeah.
So this is it. And then we also apply this to what I said earlier about the white man having to work with other people he doesn't particularly know. If you're going to go through all that work to build to grow grain, and you have to build a grain store, you don't want your grain to go bad. So you're going to find the best grain store company guy in the world, whoever he is, and you're going to have a contract with him. And you're going to learn to work with and get along with people you didn't particularly get along with, etc. Whereas Africans didn't have any of these problems, so they're far more clan based and clan oriented.
Tribalistic. You see that here in America? Like I used to be a private investigator, and I was watching people like insurance claims back in the day.
So he's watching me for Byron.
Yeah. So
why am I giving Byron a hard time? Fuck Ron too. Fuck both of them.
Yeah.
fuck Ron, little Ron.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So I was a private investigator, and they sent me to the black community. It was Watts. Nobody else wanted to go. They said, you'll fit in. So the white man sends me there, and I'm there. I'm in that neighborhood maybe 2 minutes before everybody comes out like, who is this nigga?
Yeah, of course.
It's like, you see that tribalism that came from our evolution in Africa is here in America.
Oh, 100%.
You could just go into any black neighborhood, all black. Even if you're black, they're going to be looking at you crazy.
But this is the thing that's interesting, because people at home don't understand that the matrix itself, the people who are in charge of the world, they find every innate action or every innate inclination that humans have, and they hijack it and Trojan horse it. So the natural tribalism that blacks have, they hijack and Trojan horse and use against us when a convicted fucking felon does some dumb shit he shouldn't have done, and and black people defend him anyway.
Right.
Because it's tribalism, right? They'll stick up for him anyway. The liberals are actually very tribalistic. It's very interesting that if a conservative is accused of something, not even convicted, will self-cannibalize. Whereas if a liberal is accused of something, no one gives a fuck. If he's convicted, no one gives a fuck. If he did it, there's a fucking video, no one gives a fuck. The liberals don't care. The liberals will accept a criminal into their team if it helps them, no problem. Us conservatives, the moral high ground, will fucking self-cannibalize over an accusation all day long. It's pathetic. But they do this with everything. They Trojan horse all things. So if you're in charge of the world and you want to get an objective done, these people are not stupid. They literally rule the world. They'll sit there and go, okay, we want to convince people that if they pay more taxes, the sun will stop being hot. So how do we do this? Well, this is a pretty hard argument to get across. So we're going to start with something more basic. Do you like trees? Yeah, I like trees. Do you like the oceans and the fish? Do you want to destroy the whole world? No, I don't want to destroy the whole world. All right, then we're going to put up your taxes. So they take your natural. So they take your natural inclination.
Be a dumb fuck to believe that.
Yeah. So they take your natural inclination to like nature, and they Trojan horse it. They put in Trojan horses. Another one's tolerance. Oh, we're Christians. Yeah, you're tolerant, right? You're not horrible people. You're tolerant. You understand other people. You're tolerant. Yeah. Okay. Here's a drag queen. Whoa. So that's what they do. They take your natural inclinations and they sneak in these Trojan horses with everything all the time. So the tribalism of the black people is being used against them when they're sticking up for fucking dickhead pieces of shit. No other race does this, by the way.
Y'all like that last Ram we gave away? Yeah. So we got us another one. Check this Ram out. 2500 heavy duty turbo diesel Ram. R-A-M or Ram. It's got all kinds of Ram action. Yeah, I love this Ram. You can really ram something with this. What color is this, graphite? That is white supremacist graphite right there. Got a good handle on it. See that handle? Built like a tank, but it drives like a race car. Go to officialhodgetwins.com. Anything you buy from the site get you automatically in a win. Yeah. No purchase necessary. Going where prohibited. See official rules for details. Yeah.